Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. As I said at the end of the last episode, since we had to skip Secret Origins Month this year, it's only appropriate that we take a look at a Golden Age story now. But that's not the only reason we're doing this. I've mentioned this before, but when it comes to the holidays on this show, I love it when we have a string of interesting franchise material to look at, how each one puts its own spin on Christmas and the like. My absolute favorite remains the time we looked at Star Trek, The Punisher, a Solson comic, and Doctor Who all in a single month. Just a great string of episodes in my opinion. And thus for this year, my original idea was to actually do a bit more franchise stuff, including something definitely not usually thought of at the holidays, The X-Files. Top Comics' The X-Files #1 is technically a Christmas issue, but only technically. Yes, it's set during the holidays, and there are some mentions of the season, and the plot is about religious stuff, but it's not really Christmassy. Like, we talk about Die Hard being a Christmas movie, and it is, but that's because for a lot of people it contains enough holiday minutia to qualify. This has even less, mostly dealing with some weird conspiracy involving a religious prophecy and the Vatican trying to shut it down, and also aliens are involved because the X-Files. Maybe I'll come back to it in the future, but for now I want to focus on stories that actually have something to do with the season. And there are a handful of Gold and Silver Age Batman stories that happen to fit the bill. Let's dig into Batman #27 and the story, A Christmas Peril.
Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where Yuletide candles burn. Linkara's gonna give you all a present you've not earned. Nutmensch, you're not the brightest. Frank Miller, you're off the nice list. If you're a comic writer who misuses a license, your gift will be returned. Digging through the shelves for the kind of comic books that would turn Santa's elves into common crooks. He reads them and he weeps while down the chimney creeps. Bill jammers with a Marvel trade to watch him when he sleeps. Linkara, he built a snowman porch, now it has a hole. Linkara, 8 maids, a milking and a young blood troll. Linkara, only one Dickens homage away from going chestnuts. Linkara, this Christmas comic sucks.
Coming to us from 1945 is this cover. And while of course the story is an anthology of Batman tales,
which was the style at the time,
this one is at least holiday themed, even if there's only one story relating to it. It features Batman and Robin helping Santa carry a huge sack of gifts. Well, actually it features Robin helping out. Kinda looks like Santa's barging past Batman and he's just happy to see him. Back the 6th War Loan! Merry Christmas, America! Let's go kill some Nazis! We open with not the Christmas story, so let's skip ahead 38 pages to Why We're Here, where we have a splash page preview of the events, featuring Batman and Robin descending a Christmas tree, while Santa and some kid are about to be gunned down by gangsters. You know, that old holiday standard. Any resemblance between this adventure and Dickens' beloved masterpiece, A Christmas Carol, is strictly intentional. Spoilers, lest you think this was chosen for me to yet again cover a variation of A Christmas Carol, no. This is nothing like A Christmas Carol, except if maybe you squint hard enough. For one thing, I don't recall quite as many Tommy guns in A Christmas Carol. Some in Home Alone, though.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Points for the story name of Peril rhyming with Carol, but not in a very overt way, though. For the great English novelist that wrote of the spirit of brotherhood that stirs anew in the world when the mystical star of the wise men shines at Yuletide. And that is the guiding beacon of the mighty Batman and Robin as they fare forth once more against evil and injustice. Robin, now that we've traveled back in time, I need to use the bat signal to bring the 3 wise men to baby Jesus. We truly open on Christmas Eve in Gotham City, where Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson are apparently doing Christmas tree shopping. Okay, this happens enough in fiction that I really have to start asking, is this a me thing? Is it actually super common for people to go shopping for their tree and setting up said tree on Christmas Eve instead of, like, a month beforehand or whatever? Admittedly, there might be a reason for it in story. The two are complaining to the salesman that $7.98 is way too pricey for a Christmas tree, which just makes me laugh because before I started doing this show, I sold artificial Christmas trees, and the lowest costing one was like $50. As I said last week, inflation is wild, kids. And the salesman says it's because there's a shortage this year. So hey, maybe the two are only trying to grab a tree now because they weren't available sooner. However, they soon head down the street to see someone selling trees for only $2. However, it seems he's being hassled by some goons who start pouring gasoline on the trees.
Those hoodlums seem to be lacking in peace and goodwill. Yeah, Robin, let's show them peace and goodwill.
Dick is already halfway changed into the Robin costume while he's saying this, and I should note they're still in the middle of the street. Whatever though, as the goons set fire to the trees, our heroes approach.
I see you rats don't believe in Santa Claus.
Let that be a lesson to you all. Only arsonists don't believe in Santa. Robin punches a dude right into the fire. Ouch! I'm afire! Zounds! I'm inflamed! The owner of the shop says that the goons wanted him to raise their prices and pay them the difference. Batman demands to know who's in charge of this racket, the goons saying it's a guy named Happy Hogsby, longtime rival of noted criminal mastermind Big Dicks. We cut over to Hogsby's place as he's gloating about the plan.
Santa Claus is sure paying off this year.
Thank God I filed that trademark on him. Why didn't we ever think of this before? The whole world's crazy about Christmas trees, especially Israel. Batman and Robin come charging in and immediately punch the crooks when they pull guns.
What's the idea starting a fight in a respectable business place? In the first place, your gunmen started the fight. And in the second place, hogging the Christmas tree market through terrorism isn't respectable. You do it by cornering the market and lowering the prices to ridiculous levels so that no small business can compete with you. That's the civilized way of operating.
All I do is manage the business. If my, agents use crude methods, can I help it?
I am powerless to fire people who engage in illegal operations.
Hogsby claims there's nothing he can do to stop him since his business operations are being backed by the multimillionaire Scranton Loring. And I guess Batman accepts that because he decides to go pay Scranton a visit.
Young Scranton Loring just inherited the fortune of his uncle, Caleb Loring, better known as Old Scrooge.
I never thought anybody could be mean enough to turn Christmas into a racket. Wow, you are 12, aren't you, Dick? We cut over to the Loring mansion, where we see Scranton's other uncle, Timothy, dressing up in a Santa suit. He's Scranton's new legal guardian and thought that he'd get a kick out of seeing Santa after being raised by such an asshole like Caleb. And here is Scranton Loring, the richest boy in the world. Let me see, $953,000 at 33 1/3%, with 10% deducted for operating costs. And with that, I'll buy Twitter. Then no one can make fun of me. Scranton is less than impressed with his uncle. You certainly aren't much like Uncle Caleb. Take off those silly whiskers and meet Eggers, my secretary. But the whiskers are real. The beard isn't, though. I'm just half cat. I thought it would make you happy if I played Santa Claus. Most boys of your age would be pleased. Most boys are stupid. But I'm interested in the really important things, like Uncle Caleb was. Like brothels, cigarettes, and dollar store coupons. All Caleb knew was how to get rich at other people's expense. They used to call him Old Scrooge. They call me Young Scrooge, and I'm proud of it, especially since I'm actually 49. He doesn't care about the sentimental parts of Christmas. While others throw their money away, I'm making $250,000 by cornering all Christmas trees in town and quadrupling prices. Shrewd, eh? Not really. As I pointed out, you're doing this on Christmas Eve, and most people who aren't Bruce Wayne rich will probably be like, we could skip a tree this year and just have the gifts on a table or something. Timothy says that as Scranton's legal guardian, he won't permit swindling people on Christmas Eve. Scranton just says that Caleb used to say Timothy wouldn't amount to much, but more importantly, Eggers says that Timothy can't dictate anything because he won't become Scranton's legal guardian until January 1st. In the meantime, he has power of attorney to handle Scranton's business affairs. And yet for some reason, your job title is still secretary. Go figure. We learn that Eggers was also the originator of the whole scheme. We've gone too far now to stop, even if we wanted to. We really got it started late this year. If we want to turn any profit after all the work we did setting it up, we've got to see it through. Batman and Robin storm in. Batman and Robin! Aren't you thrilled, Scranton? Why? They're stupid too, doing all the things they do for nothing.
Joke's on you! I get to wear a cape and punch people. That's its own reward. Robin, I'm afraid our only chance is to take young Scrooge out for a little airing.
Check. And they grab Scranton with the intent to kidnap him. Ah, so that's where Frank Miller got the idea for All-Star Batman and Robin. I don't know what this is all about, but strangely, I don't feel upset about it. Well, that's because you're not going to be a very good legal guardian for him, Tim. Like, they are taking him swinging through the city. Please don't let go. Not on purpose, anyway. Our heroes, everybody! Merry Christmas! They take him back to the tree store that was being attacked by the goons. Why should I be interested in that fire? It isn't my property.
An old couple sold Christmas trees here. Until an hour ago, when some thugs set fire to the shop because the old folks wouldn't cheat their customers.
Wait, did you guys not try to put out the fire? You just punched the goons and immediately went to Hogsby's place without even trying to throw some snow on it? Also, they immediately went from Hogsby's to Scranton's. How long has this fire been going for?
They hope to make enough to give their family a Merry Christmas, but small chance of that now.
Again! It's Christmas Eve! Were they just a Greek Orthodox family and celebrated later than everyone else? Scranton says that since they went to the trouble of bringing him here, he could write a check for their business, but of course Robin is pissed that he thinks that he can just smooth things over with money. Though admittedly, I think the old couple might enjoy the cash regardless. Batman tells them to stop quarreling, and they're heading over to the old couple's home. Naturally, their lives are hell, and they live in squalor in an unheated tenement. My son is dead and my daughter-in-law ill. My husband and I have barely been able to earn enough to keep the children alive. And yet you could apparently afford to own and operate your own Christmas tree store selling God knows what in the off-season. Scranton is moved. I never knew people were as miserable as this. I should have my goons come in here and rough them up a bit. They could be way more miserable. Batman, will it be all right if I give them what money I have with me? Not as charity. I'd really like to.
Of course, Scranton!
It's just a pity there aren't any other rich people around who could use money to help them.
Yeah, it's a real shame, but you never know. Some rich people might be using their wealth to personalize their weapons and vehicles so that they're vaguely bat-shaped. It's a very worthwhile cause.
Back at the Loring mansion, Timothy spots Eggers and the butler, Gulliver, discuss how they need to move fast now that Batman is involved. They've been secretly embezzling Scranton's money for years, even before Caleb died, working alongside Hogsby to do it. Like an idiot, Timothy tries to intervene, without success, Gulliver taking the landline phone and knocking him out with it.
Eat phone! Oof.
Batman and Robin's next stop with Scranton is a hospital where some of the goons had beaten up a florist who was also selling Christmas trees at a fair price. Where's the superintendent? I want Meeker to have the best doctors available, and hang the expense. Now you're starting to act like a human being.
You're getting the Christmas spirit of giving, not taking.
So what this comic is telling us is that we have to kidnap rich douchebags and show them people who've been hurt by criminals, and then that'll make them believe in giving to charity? Not about how Eggers is responsible for this, he wants to see who his agent is. Batman and Robin take him to Hogsby's place and let him go in on his own, which seems like a bafflingly stupid idea to let the child go in like this, but I'm not the world's greatest detective, so what do I know? Eggers, Gulliver, and the captured Timothy are all there already too. Uncle Tim, is this some kind of silly game?
Well, yes, Scranton. You see, Eggers and I are doing something called bondage. And, well, the Hogsby's got a Santa kink, so...
They proudly announce that they intend to murder not only Timothy, but the young Scranton, too. He calls out to Batman and Robin, who quickly storm in.
What's this? Why, you rotten murderers! Nobody kills Santa on my watch!
Do what you want with the kid, though. He's kind of a brat. Robin swings on a chandelier and kicks a dude in the face. Here's hoping this gives you indigestion. Do kicks in the face usually lead to indigestion in the DC universe? Scranton actually gets in the way of Hogsby, who wants to shoot Batman, saying maybe he deserves to be shot, but not the hero. Fortunately, it's Batman, so he goes in and decks the guy. The only thing I'm sorry about is I'm saving you from the electric chair. Almost would make you murdering a child worth it. Soon the criminals are delivered to the cops, and Scranton is lamenting his greedy ways. How can I make up for all the years I've wasted? A little while ago, when I expected to die, I realized I didn't really care for money. That down underneath, I wanted to be like other boys. The true meaning of Christmas: conformity! Batman reassures him that he's young enough that his misspent time caring only about money can be corrected. But as Robin points out, don't turn your back on it yet because there's still time for last-minute shopping. And they concoct a little scheme, buying up a crap ton of stuff. The Batplane is loaded up with presents, even has a decorative wreath on the tail. And oh hey, they're singing Jingle Bells, Batman Smells up in it. It's nice of Batman not to mind it. They bring all the presents down to the slum where the old couple lived and deliver a bunch of stuff. From there, they head to the hospital where the florist is making a recovery and drop off some more gifts. You're gonna get well, Joe, and Santa Claus has brought us a new home and better store. We sell pornography now. They're soon back at the mansion as well, setting up decorations. We didn't save a single gift for Scranton. Why, I've just been given the finest present on Earth, something all my fortune couldn't buy. Bragging rights that I got to hang out with and fight alongside Batman. No, of course, it's the secret of real happiness, using his money to spread cheer and goodwill not just at Christmas, but all the year round. And so our story ends with the four characters breaking the fourth wall and wishing everyone at home a Merry Christmas. This comic sucks because I was promised a Christmas Carol-style story, and they failed to deliver on that. I'm just kidding, it's perfectly fine. It is weird that the opening page describes it as being similar to A Christmas Carol when really all it has is someone miserly deciding to not be a dick anymore. Otherwise, it's just a fun little Christmas story where Batman and Robin make a kid realize that helping people is good, money isn't everything, except for those who need it to live, of course, and that maybe encouraging gangsters to rough up innocent people is a bad thing. I do take exception to our heroes just kidnapping a child to teach him a lesson, but hey, the kid was helping get innocent people hurt, so it's not quite the same thing as if he was just completely ignorant and free of sin here. It's a bit goofy, a bit heavy-handed for how miserable the old couple's existence is, but it's just meant to be a Christmas story where good triumphs over evil, and it does so well. Next time, though, we're really gonna have something fun. Come back for a very special episode of Atop the Fourth Wall, featuring Mr. T. Also Emmanuel Lewis, but mostly Mr. T. You're gonna get well, Joe, and Santa Claus has bought us a new and better store. We're gonna have a video store that sells VHS tapes. What? Oh, you bastards! I'm gonna burn it down myself!